Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 7th January 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over $8,000, but we are providing complete free training. You can access all the training lessons at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into the playlist Supply Demand Zone Price Action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Now let's get into the report generation. First, let us identify the stocks near demand and supply zones. During this process, we will also identify daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones and also the pierced zones for monthly, weekly and daily time frames, and also stocks closed inside the demand or supply zones for monthly, weekly and daily time frames. Those stocks will also further filter based on EMA Confluence, monthly, weekly and daily EMA Confluence. Okay, first let us find the stocks near quarterly demand zone. Two stocks are filtered. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. I request you pause the video, study the report, and then you can proceed further with the next reports. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly supply zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Next, monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. 2 stocks are filtered. Next, monthly time frame. The demand zones, monthly demand zones should be pierced. We want pierced monthly demand zones. So in the pierced count at monthly time frame, minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value some big number I am giving 99. You won't get those many pierced count. I think it's not peer. I think some problem is coming. Let me. Monthly time frame. Yesterday also we got this problem. Monthly demand zones. At pierced count, monthly time frame, minimum value 1, maximum value 99. So let's filter. We got 16 stocks. These 16 monthly demand zones are pierced. Always look into the PIE column in the demand zones. Green color is the demand zones. Look for that. Because we are filtering based on the demand zones. Okay, next, monthly time frame. The supply zones are pierced. Monthly supply zones. We got 10 stocks. In the pierced count, we got 10 supply zones. monthly supply zones, pierced supply zones. Okay, next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone, and these monthly demand zones should not be pierced. So monthly time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Fresh zones we are looking. We got a big list. First 20 stocks. Scrolling the list down. So total 29 stocks are filtered, where price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We can further filter this list based on how many of these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, monthly demand zones having monthly EMA Confluence. So 21 stocks. Okay, next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside monthly supply zone. These monthly supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, monthly time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks. Currently price closed in these 4 monthly supply zones. Let's verify any of these monthly supply zones are having EMA Confluence. So monthly time frame, supply zones with monthly EMA Confluence. One stock is filtered, but it is sideways trend. I think previously demand zones also we didn't filter based on EMA. So let me generate monthly demand zones once again. Price closed inside monthly demand zones, and these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence, and the trend on monthly time frame should not be sideways, it can be up or down, and the filter should be applied to demand zones, monthly demand zones. So we got 19 stocks. EMA Confluence and monthly trend is either up or down trend. Okay. Anyway, monthly supply zones we don't have any stocks with up or down trend, monthly EMA Confluence. And the next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone, we got 14 stocks. Next, weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone, 2 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly time frame, should be demand zones, and weekly demand zone should be pierced. So at pierced count, weekly time frame, I am setting minimum value 1, maximum value 99. Let me filter. So we got a big list. So for first 15 pierced zones, demand zones, scrolling the list down. Further scrolling. So total 41 stocks are filtered. That means we have 41 pierced weekly demand zones at present. Shall we filter how many of these pierced demand zones are having EMA Confluence? That also we will further reduce the list. In the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend should on weekly time frame should not be sideways, it can be up or down. So these 9 pierced demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Okay. Next, weekly time frame, weekly supply zones, the pierced count on weekly time frame, a minimum value should be 1, maximum value big number 99. So weekly supply zones. Let's filter. So first 15 stocks having pierced supply zones, weekly supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. So we have identified total 27 pierced weekly supply zones from this list. Okay, let us filter how many of these weekly supply zones, pierced supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone with weekly EMA, and the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways, it can be up or down. Let's filter. We have 7 stocks. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. I think price closed inside the demand zones. Also we need to generate. Just a minute. Weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone, and these weekly demand zones should not be pierced. In the pierced count, weekly time frame. Actually, what's wrong in keeping this pierced count on weekly, monthly and daily? Not required, because you already land pierced zones. Now with pierced also, price closed inside pierced zones will be more useful to you. So I think it doesn't make any sense if we add the filter pierced count for filtering the stocks. Let it be pierced zones or non-pierced. So let us generate. So I am not setting any pierced count parameter, just price closed inside the demand zone. At the time, this filter entry zone is also not required. So weekly inside any weekly demand zone. We got how many? 64 stocks are filtered. First 16 stocks. Some are included inside pierced demand zones also there. I am scrolling the list down. Further down. So total 64 stocks. Currently price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Out of the 64, how many are having weekly EMA Confluence? That is the next filter. So in the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, including pierced zones. So first 17 stocks in the list. It's very simple. If you don't want pierced zone, wherever pierced count is there, ignore them in case if you don't want. If you want a fresh zone, look into the count. That's it. It's a matter of few seconds time. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. But here, one more filter we did not add. Sideways we have to eliminate. In the trend weekly time frame, it should be up or down. That is important. Yeah. This is the perfect EMA Confluence with up or down trend, but not sideways. I am scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered. Okay, next weekly time frame. Price closed inside any weekly supply zone. Any means it could be high liquidity, it could be normal, or even it could be pierced zones. That is what the meaning. Let's filter. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. Price closed inside weekly supply zone. Now let us further filter based on the EMA Confluence. Supply zone with weekly EMA Confluence. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. So 8 stocks. In these 8 stocks, few PR-SID zones also there. So those who wants to use PR-SID strategies, they can use these stocks. That way you can prepare your trade setups. I think this makes more sense, including PR-SID zones while generating price closed inside the zones. Those who don't want PR-SID zones, manually you can ignore those stocks from this list. Okay, next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones. Hindustan Petroleum is pierced, so we can't use for HLQ zone strategy. Sun Pharma is a valid high liquidity zone. Tata Communication is again pierced, you can't use it. So we have only one valid high liquidity daily demand zone from this list, Sun Pharma. This is the one. Okay, next daily time frame, stocks near daily supply zone. We got 15 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. AU Bank is having high liquidity daily supply zone. IndusInd Bank. That's it. We have 2 high liquidity daily supply zones, AU Bank and IndusInd Bank from this list. Okay, next daily time frame. Daily time frame. I want pierced daily demand zones. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I'm setting minimum value 1, maximum value 99. With this filter, we got 55 stocks. So first 16 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 55 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the PR-SID demand zone. Now let us further filter by checking how many of these PR-SID demand zones at present are having a daily EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence filter is enabled, and also at a trend at a daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 daily demand zones are having, PR-SID demand zones are having EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about the daily time frame. PR-SID zones, demand zones. Next, PR-SID supply zones. Daily time frame, setting the supply zone. These daily supply zone, the pierced count on daily time frame should be minimum value 1, maximum value 99. Let's filter. How many total? We got 37. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 37 stocks are filtered. Let us verify out of 37 how many of these daily pierced supply zones are having EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and the trend at daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks. These 8 daily pierced supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. Okay, this is about the pierced zones. Next, price closed inside the daily demand zone. Entry time frame is daily. And price closed inside the daily demand zone, any demand zone. It can be pierced or non-pierced or high liquidity, anything. Let's filter. We got 64 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down for your reference. So total 64. We can further filter this list based on the EMA confluence, daily EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am enabling the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend on daily time frame can be up or down, but it should not be sideways. So we got the list is reduced. First 16 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks are filtered. Okay, next daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. Let us filter. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 30 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the daily supply zone. Now we can further filter this list based on daily supply zones having daily EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled, and also the trend on daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. Let's filter. We got 10 stocks. So these 10 daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, and some of these stocks are pierced supply zones. Okay, this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. 13 stocks are filtered. Next 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. 7 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. So let's identify high liquidity zones from this list. Alchem, is it Kalyan Zoldis? This is a pierced zone. You can't use it. Sriram Finance, Sonacams. So total 4 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones we identified from this list. Next 75 minutes time frame, stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Any high liquidity supply zones? No, we don't have any high liquidity 75-minute supply zones from this list. Okay. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 16 stocks. Scrolling the list down. Okay, next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Let's verify how many of these demand zones are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes and a demand zone confluence. These 2 stocks are having. That means these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Let's further filter based on LTF, ITF demand supply zone confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. We got only 1 stock. This 15 minute supply zone is part of the 75 minute supply zone. Next, for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many are having ITF confluence? These 5 minutes demand zone having 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 minutes demand zones are part of 15 minutes demand zone. In that, second one is invalid, it is pierced. So next 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Let's verify how many of these supply zones are having ITF confluence. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. So only 1 stock is filtered. So this 5 minute supply zone is part of the 15 minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next set of reports are about NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. First let's start with NIFTY generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is a NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply these rules for the remaining reports. And also don't forget to pause the video when we are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you only few seconds time. Okay, next weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Because the demand zones are very few, I am scrolling the list down. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. So I am scrolling the list down to get the demand zones. So all these are all demand zones, 5 minutes demand zones. Starting from serial number 40. Okay, this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, I will generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. Generating BANKNIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. And next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. We have few 5 minutes demand zones. I am scrolling the list down for your reference. So this is about BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. And the next set of reports are about bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. First, let us generate bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily. Entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at a daily time frame, I am selecting bullish. These daily demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. Let's filter the stocks. We got 13 stocks. Supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. And in all these 13 stocks, entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Among these 13 daily demand zones, some of the zones are high probability setup supported zones based on the high liquidity type. Apart from that, we can also filter based on zone confluence. So two filters we can use. First filter is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly demand zone confluence. Let us add that filter. In the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With this filter, out of 13 stocks, we got 10 stocks. In all these 10 stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. Because daily is part of the zone and weekly trend is up in all these stocks, if weekly zone is having weekly EMA confluence, those stocks could be even more high probability trade setup stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, because daily zone is part of the weekly zone, so I am setting weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 8 stocks. So these 8 are even more high probability trade setup supported daily demand zones. Okay, we can also filter the stocks based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. That is a daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. And then in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Second filter, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, daily, weekly and monthly zone confluence, we did not get any stocks. Fine. This is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is a daily. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bearish. And the daily supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced zones at daily time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got only 2 stocks. Currently these 2 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And the entry zones are daily supply zones. Out of these 2 stocks, let us verify the stocks that are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With this filter, we got both the stocks. That means both the stocks, these daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is down in both these stocks. If any of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, because daily zone is part of the weekly zone. That's why we are looking for weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence. So one stock is filtered. This is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Okay. Next, let us verify those 2 stocks are having LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter, weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we did not get any stocks. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, weekly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame. I am selecting bullish. The 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0. Maximum value 0. Zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone, bullish trade setup. So we got 8 stocks. These 8 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All these are all 75 minutes demand zones. the green color zones. Out of these 8 75 minutes demand zones, some are high probability they are supporting based on high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can also further filter based on the zone confluence. That is, first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. Because 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone, and if the daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, why daily? Because the 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone. That's why we are setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 75 minutes demand zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Okay, next we can further filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 75 minutes daily and weekly demand zone confluence we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily zone confluence. Next 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Third filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone, both together again part of the weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in second, third and 5th stocks. If any of those 3 stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup. Let us verify. In the weekly EMA confluence weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame should be uptrend because bullish trade setup. Let's verify. So none of the stocks are having EMA confluence. I think some mistake I made here. I selected zone violation trend, downtrend. So I'm going back, correcting my mistake. Sorry for the mistake. So I have to select uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Currently we have selected the setup as bullish trade setup. HTF trend should be uptrend or sideways, but EMA confluence trend should be up. Now let's filter. We got 2 stocks. These 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. That is the reason why BEL is already tested 2 times and 3 rejections from the zone. That means 3 times it is tested. Okay. Next. This is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. These 75 minute supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minute supply zone. Let's verify. We got 13 stocks. Currently, these 13 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And these entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. All these red color zones, 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 13 75 minute supply zones, some are already high probability setup zones based on the high liquidity zones. We can further filter based on the zone confluence also. So first filter in the zone confluence is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let us filter. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of 13 stocks, we got 10 stocks. In these 10 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in all these stocks. If any of the daily supply zones are having daily EMA, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify in the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, because the 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone. That's why we are setting daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. Let's filter. Now we got 7 stocks. These 7 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks based on LTF, ITF, supply zone confluence and ITF, EMA confluence. Okay, next we will look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence, all the 3. So I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, that is 75 with daily supply zone confluence. Second filter, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Third filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. Out of these 2, any are having a HTF EMA confluence. First one is a downtrend, we can use. Sideways you can't use. Let's verify. Anyway, they are indices, they are not listed in F&O. Still I am checking. In weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. So first one can be used, the second one you cannot, because it is sideways trend. Sideways trend EMA does not add any extra advantage. But downtrend EMA adds advantage. Probability will increase. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is a demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. These 15 minutes demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Let's verify. We got 14 stocks. Currently these 14 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zone. All these 15 minutes demand zones, the green color zones, they are all supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Out of these 14, 15 minutes demand zones, some are already high probability based on high liquidity zones. We can further filter based on the next high probability parameter, zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, 13 stocks are filtered. In all these 13 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup. Let us verify in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes. Why 75 minutes? Because 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. That's why we are looking for 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, 4 stocks are filtered, including including Infosys. So currently these 4 are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and 15-minute zone part of the 75-minute zone, and the 75-minute zone is having daily EMA confluence. So these 4 stocks are more high probability trade setup supported zones. Apart from that, see, high probability means you cannot expect 100% success rate for these stocks. Some may fail, but probability of getting success maybe, if suppose earlier it is 50-50 chances, now maybe the chances are increased to 60 or 65, something like that. Always you have to bear the risk. You should not forget that point. Okay, next, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, let us filter. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes with 75 minutes zone confluence. Next, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence, we got 6 stocks. In all these 6 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again part of the daily demand zone. And the daily trend is up in almost 4 stocks out of 6. If those stocks, any of those stocks are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at a daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence we are enabling, and also the trend on daily time frame should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup 15 minutes demand zones, because these 15 minutes demand zones are part of 75 minutes zone, and both together part of weekly demand zone, and that weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence, and also weekly trend is uptrend. All these parameters, these 2 stocks are satisfied. And moreover, both these 15 minutes demand zones are high liquidity demand zones, S_DZ. Okay. Next, we will look for bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. These 15 minute supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0. Maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. Let's filter the stocks. 14 stocks are filtered. All these 14 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. All these red color zones are 15 minute supply zones. Out of these 14 15 minute supply zones, some are already supporting high probability because they are supporting high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can also further filter based on the zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let us add that filter. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, we got 10 stocks. In all these 10 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is a downtrend in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of those 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame. Why 75 minutes? Because 15 minutes supply zone is part of the 75 minute supply zone. That's why we are looking for 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got two stocks. So these two are even more high probability trade setup, 15 minute supply zones. Okay. Next, we will filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set three filters. First filter is already enabled. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Second filter, 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. Both together again part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all these stocks except the second one. So those 4 stocks, any of those stocks are having a daily EMA confluence, daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence. They are even more high probability trade setup, supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 15 minutes entry time frame zone together with 75 minute zone is part of this daily zone. That's why we are looking for daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence. And the trend on daily time frame is a downtrend, because it is a bearish trade setup. Let's filter. HTF trend is down. 2 stocks are filtered, Nifty Bank and VEDL. Both are even more high probability trade setup supply zones. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. Okay, I keep scrolling the list down. If any of the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. This is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.